Zara recap presenting the invasion. Before start, subscribe my channel. In the beginning of the story, we are shown Dr. Carol, who is inside a store. There is chaos everywhere, and Dr. Carol is looking for a sleeping pill. Some people are trying to come in, but the door is closed. The story goes into a flashback from here, where we are shown that a space shuttle crashed on Earth, parts of which fall in different parts of the city. After the scientist comes here, he does not allow anyone to come near him. And when he checks the space shuttle, there is a very tiny creature in it, which can survive in both high and low temperatures. The one who is investigating all these things is called Tucker, who is the director here. When he comes out, a girl comes to him, who catches a piece of the same space shuttle. There are tiny creatures in it that bite him in his hand. Blood starts coming out of his hand. When Tucker goes home and goes to sleep at night, it is shown that his face has started to deteriorate completely, and the next morning, he is completely normal. He calls his ex-wife, Dr. Carol, and says that I want to meet my son. Carol says that you cannot meet him. Tucker says that I am his father, but Carol cuts his phone. After this, Carol meets a friend of hers named Dr. Ben. She tells Ben that my ex-husband wants to meet my son. Ben explains to him that he is his father. He has the right to meet his son. That's why she sends her son to her ex-husband Tucker's house. But here, his son is very surprised to see his father, because his father is talking to him without expression, as if he is a robot. The same house is shown where Carol is alone. Her door is knocked and she opens the door, but there is still a chain on the door. There is a man outside. He says that I have come here from the government office. I want to talk to you. Carol says that I'm coming from inside now. And when she goes inside, that man tries to open the chain. Carol runs and closes the door. From outside, that man is staring at Carol. There is no expression on his face. And today, Carol saw many people who had no expression on their faces. Carol does not understand what is happening. After this, she goes to meet her colleague, her friend Penn, where there are other doctors too. And they tell her that the subtleties on which the shuttle came to the Earth, they were actually intelligent subtleties who are now taking control of the human body. That is, whatever is happening here. It is happening because of the alien being on the space shuttle. After knowing all this, Carol gets worried. She goes to her ex-husband Tucker's house to take her son. There are some other people sitting at Tucker's house. Tucker says that our son has gone to his friend's house to play. That's why Carol goes upstairs and takes his stuff. But when she comes down, the door is closed. And here, all the people at Tucker's house surround him from all sides. She asks Tucker what is happening. Tucker says that you will not know anything after waking up. Just support us. You will be the way you are. Your heart, mind, existence will remain exactly the same. Carol understands after knowing all this. She tries to run away from there, but Tucker catches her. He takes out a green substance from his mouth and puts it on his face. Carol runs away with the car from here. But then she sees that there is a truck in front of her, in front of which there are many people too, and all of them are infected. Carol wants to follow her car, but there is a car behind. These infected people start following her. Carol runs and gets on a metro train, and she sees that there are many people who do not have any expression on their faces. That is, all of them are infected. Carol does not understand what to do now. That's when her son's video call comes. He says that Dad has brought me somewhere. I don't know where I am. I am scared. After knowing this, Carol gets very worried. And then a man sitting there says, "Don't show any emotions at all. Calm down completely. Otherwise, those people will make you infected." After which Carol also calms down completely and sits there like them. But then some people come here who are completely infected, and they are infecting other people. But Carol somehow escapes from there. Carol starts sweating, and then a policeman comes in front of her and tells her that you have sweat on your forehead. she will know that you are not infected. That's why you have to go from here. Carol comes back to her house, where she calls her son, but her son is not there. She goes to another doctor with her friend Ben, where he tells her that this is a kind of virus, which is transferred from one body to another. If this bacteria, this virus, goes inside someone's body, and that person goes to sleep, then during sleep, this bacteria, this virus, will take over his brain completely. That is, until the virus goes into the body. It is not activated until the person goes to sleep. They decide that they will keep an eye on each other, so that none of them sleep. Now the doctor who is telling them everything. He tells that there is a lab 80 kilometers away from here. If we reach there, then our treatment can be done. But Carol does not want to go from here without her son, before they all leave from here. Some people come here who are infected, and they start searching the whole house. But all 4 of them leave from there. After coming out, they also stand like other infected people. And then Carol sees that a lady is being taken away by the police, who is screaming. And this is her patient. She is screaming and saying that I was sleeping. I didn't know anything. If she had slept, then why is she not infected? This question arises in Carol's mind. After this, the 2 doctors with Carol, they go to the lab, while her friend Ben, he goes to the city to find his son. Carol tells Ben that that lady was my patient. If she had slept, then why was she not infected? They decide that they will check her medical report. And when Ben sees her medical report, then he finds out that he had encephalitis since childhood, which is also called a DEM, which often happens to people after chickenpox, and it affects the white matter of the brain. And that's why even after sleeping, the virus did not have any kind of impact on his brain. And not everyone has this ADEM. Very few people have this after chickenpox. And here Carol says that my son also had chickenpox, after which his symptoms were different. And when we went to the hospital, we found out that he also had a DEM, which means that my son too cannot be infected with this virus. He is also immune. That's why he is calling me again and again. He is completely fine. After this, Ben calls his fellow doctor. Now he has reached the lab, and he tells him that the lady we saw, who was being taken by the police, who was not infected with the virus, he had a DEM. His fellow doctor says that I understood. We can make a vaccine, but for this, we will need that lady's blood sample. And her DNA. Is she alive at the moment? He says, we don't need it. Carol's son also has a DEM. That is, if we bring her son, then we can make a vaccine. Now Carol gets a message from her son. I'm afraid that I will not go to sleep. If I go to sleep, then the virus will completely dominate my mind. After this, Ben wears a police uniform and leaves Carol at one place, and to distract the police. And Carol gets out of here, and now Carol behaves like infected people, climbs into a metro, where everyone is infected. There are no emotions on their faces. She goes to a washroom, and when she opens the door, then her son's friend is outside, who tells that now my family is no more. When she gets off the metro, then there is Tucker outside, who has come to take her, and with Tucker, comes to her mother's house. Tucker's mother is also completely infected, and all this does not recognize Carol, that she is not infected, because she is also behaving like them. When everyone is having lunch, Carol gets a call from her son. She talks to him very carefully, so that no one doubts that she is not infected. And in the conversation, she finds out the location of her son. She quickly reaches her son and takes him out of the house. But Tucker and his men see them leaving. They both run and go to a basement, and Tucker reaches there. He tries to kill his son, But before he does that, Carol attacks him from behind and kills him and takes her son and goes to a store where there are a lot of medicines. She takes out a medicine from there and tells her son that if I go to sleep, then take out this medicine and inject it in my heart. Carol gets a call from Ben. She tells him that her son is with her. She is in a store. Ben says that he will reach there soon. Carol is very sleepy, but she can't sleep. If she sleeps, she will also get infected. But her son is tired. He goes to sleep, and Carol starts looking for a medicine. And this is the moment from where the story begins. Some people are trying to open the door from outside, but she doesn't open the door. Carol hasn't slept for many hours. That's why she is sleepy now. When her son opens his eyes, he sees that his mother is sleeping. That's why he takes out the injection and puts it on his mother's heart, with which she wakes up. That means she hasn't slept completely yet. Now Ben also comes here. Carol is very happy to see him. She hugs him, and she realizes that Ben is also infected. That's why she shoots him, and she takes Ben's car and leaves from here. But now a lot of cars are following his car. His car collides, and he falls unconscious, and all the infected people surround him. But before he breaks the glass, he comes to his senses and starts the car again. And then he gets a call from the doctor, who was in the lab. He says, "We need your son to make the vaccine. Where are you?" He tells his location, and he reaches there. After that, he tells him to come to the roof of the building. Carol takes her son to the roof, but a lot of infected people are following him. But somehow she reaches up, after which the doctor takes him from the helicopter and leaves. And after that, they all come to the lab, and with his help, the vaccine is made, with the help of which slowly they start curing the infected people. And now almost everyone has recovered. They don't remember what they did while being infected. They don't have any memories, in which Ben is also one. And now Ben and Carol both live together. And with this movie ends here.